Go.
Ho, 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 and now for your listening pleasure. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Still out of Milwaukee and not the North Pole, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin. Ho, ho, ho. Hip or critical. Ho, ho, ho. Got enough ho, ho, ho's yet. Your outlet to let us vent on all things Christmas, not Christmas, in Milwaukee, out of Milwaukee, but really in the end, ho, 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 really don't matter. Alexa MKE, were you a good girl this last year?
I don't know. I'm stuck in a snow globe. Help me.
You need some confetti or soap flakes or something going on in there,
A little bit of snowflakes.
little. Don't you have an effect for that?
Ooh.
Don't we have a snowflake, a snowfall effect?
Yeah. No, we had enough snow. I wish it would have stayed because it would have been pretty, but it didn't.
It'll come. Don't worry, there'll be more.
Oh yeah, it's winter in Wisconsin. So you said you were going to American Science and Surplus. Did
Yes,
you
yes, I
go?
did.
What'd you think?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Again, and we've talked about this. It's an overload in the senses. I mean, again, I not only have squirrels I'm looking at all the time, squirrel, squirrel, but they're shiny squirrels, shiny squirrel,
Ooh,
shiny squirrel.
shiny things.
So, and my daughter Drew, I actually did want a microscope. And again, as much as they were deals, even the kids' ones are $30. So underneath, there was a scratch and dent underneath one of these tables, and I'm looking at this nice one. It's heavy and everything, and like it says, two of them said the prisms were knocked, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But the third one said it had an eyepiece loose, so I'm like, hey, this is the one. Take this one. And she looked it up. It's like $100 microscope, so she was happy. So she got something there. And then you had also told me World of Wonders is right next door.
Lost World of Wonders. Did you say hi to Boo?
I saw hi to Boo the kitty. Very talkative. Very talkative. Of course, Chrissy, the SO, is an animal lover. So she was happy just looking at the cat while I was looking at all the stuff in there, all the squirrels in there, the figurines and everything like that.
They have so much in there. People don't know what they're missing.
Exactly. So then I went down one more to Betty's bargain bin, antiques and knick-knack, bric-a-brac, whatnot shops. That's what I call them, where stacked wall to ceiling. There's all kinds of stuff sitting in there, from
Was the
small.
Kawasaki still there? There's a
Oh,
Kawasaki motorcycle out there.
no, there was a Schwinn.
That's not a Cowie.
No, yeah, so no, was it? Well, I mean, like a model of one or a real one?
No, it was a whole bike. It was a little, I don't know, probably 125cc Cowie bike.
How old?
I don't know, old. I would have bought it if I would have had money.
So we're in there looking at stuff, and there's just always stuff new, old, kitschy, whatever. And all of a sudden I'm looking in the photo bin and the pictures and everything, and I'm going by, and this thing catches my eye, and it's kind of big, whatever, and it's kind of textured, a painting textured, and I pull it out, and it says Trey Wynn, TREWYN on it, and but it looks, I don't know, it wasn't like Trey Wynn, a nice.
You're talking about an actual painting, not like a print.
Right, okay. Right. I didn't want something that was, Kmart had, or the home store had, that there's 100 of these. They'd use them for staging or something,
Right.
So I'm trying to look at my phone, and I'm not seeing what it is, and I'm like, I put it back, and and I tried to hide it, because once you're over looking at someone, if anybody else in the store, they can smell it. It's like, hey, somebody's looking at something. They must like it. Let's go look at what are they looking at? And then you come back.
Like a squirrel, you had to hide your nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. You don't know how true that is. And then so we leave the store, and again, here's the thing. It's like it was $9.95. It's $10, and I'm like, why would, no matter what it is, I guess I just didn't want it to be some mass thing. So I get home, I set it up, look up. She's a woman that works out of like locally in Conomowoc in the area, and everything. She's still a prolific painter, still does it, has a little shop. It's one of those things that says, if the light's on, come and say hi, that's it.
Right, yeah.
So you don't know, and then there are appointments. And I even tried emailing her. It's called Man the Conquering Hero. I'll take a picture of it and put it up on the site.
Okay,
But
cool.
so but I get home and I'm like, it's like 4 o'clock, and I'm like, or 4:30. I'm like, we got to go back for that. And she's really, and I go, yeah. I said we got to go back for it. Some of her prints were going for $100. So we go back, we run back there. The place closes at 6. I run in the door. I'm like, hey, I know you close at 6. I know what I want. I'll be right back. I run to the back and everything like that. I look, and I had pushed them all back, so they was kind of hidden. Someone had pulled them all forward again, and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And it was there, so I got to buy it and everything.
Victory!
Like victory was mine. Victory was mine. So the kid, the meme kid.
There you go. Well, my weekend was not as exciting. I put up the tree and all my decor, and I go to pull out my garland, for outside, and poof, bunch of the lights are out. So I had to strip all the lights off and run to Home Depot and buy more lights. So that's fun. And now I have
I hear one of those good people who take off the old lights. I think I have one of those garland type things. I've got like 4 lights. Oh, that one went out. Yeah, just throw another strand on.
I'm not that bad. I'm anal. I had to take all the old stuff off and put all the new stuff on. So yeah, now there's like 2,500 lights out there, just 1,600 alone on the garland. So yes, we are lit up and all festive. So that was fun. At least
I had 2 trees and a third thing that changes. One of those things with like stars that you can program it to do different flashing. And I blew the fuse on my outdoor plug. I mean, Christ, I should be able to run, anything off of that, but 100 lights, come on. So maybe it's wet or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
And I didn't.
Wait a minute. What's this guy behind you? I see something behind you.
Well, my name, I stole it from him. He wanted some kudos and some props for the name. This is actually Shock, the monkey, so. And so Shock the monkey, that's, Shock the monkey. He is very shy. He has not made an appearance till now. I want him to meet your monkey. You can see he's waving hi to your monkey.
My monkey's going,
WT. Hey, what? What? No. So he's a little shy. He's got one hand, covered.
Poor little Shock the monkey.
But he just wanted to say hi. Just wanted to say hi.
There, so. my monkey waves to your monkey. Yeah. That sounded bad.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So anyway, talk about bad things.
Let's go get on the internet and wave each other's monkeys at each other. What do you say?
Yeah, there we go. Wave the monkeys. Speaking of bad things, the FCC is basically saying that this unlimited data that AT&T and Verizon, those people have, is a no-go. It's a violation of net neutrality. So you know a little bit about telecoms, and AT&T just struck this deal with DirecTV. So if you have AT&T,
trying to do one with Time Warner Cable as we speak.
Right. But with DirecTV, you can get and you get AT&T, you can stream all the DirecTV content and it won't count against your data, so you won't get charged for that. That's a no-go, and so we're going to see where that goes. It's really interesting because, net neutrality is supposed to be open for everybody, and we're supposed to all have access to the same things. And so basically what they're saying is, somebody with, say, T-Mobile isn't going to get that DirecTV, necessarily for free. That data might be dinged against their provider. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because net neutrality has changed over the years, but that's pretty much all the cord cutting news I have for this week. And we're going to be after the new year, we'll be finishing that build and talking more about cord cutting and why I'm building a box rather than just doing some of the other easier solutions that there are.
Yeah. They're none of them easy. None of them are easy. The easiest one is pay more, right?
Well, no, there's some easy solutions, but we're starting to kind of get options, and we can stack costs until, basically it becomes the same as cable, and then you may as well just have cable.
Exactly. So you're a Reddit fan. Did you see this little article?
I am a Redditor, yes.
Was there some yip yap in the community about this? The CEO playing with the comments?
I was surprised to see that that you had put this up and I didn't. You had it up before I did. Yes.
Hey, I try to listen to you too. I mean, I know I talk myself out of everything and be the loudest kid in the room, but I do try to get a little some of your interests, Alexa. I try to
So
listen.
yes, on Reddit, I am a Redditor. There was some back and forth about the CEO. He goes by Spaz on Reddit. I'm not quite sure what his username is. I just call him Spaz. But he basically started trolling the trolls, and he was editing comments and deleting other comments and doing some things that he could do, but weren't quite kosher. And so yeah, there was a lot of discussion about that. And at the end of the day, it's like Reddit is trying to grow with this global community they have, but it hasn't always been super successful. It's been really interesting. What did you take from the article you read?
Well, I guess it's like anything. I think there's still some of that thing, and Zuckerberg's got it when he says, no, we weren't about influencing of the election, and no, the fake news isn't that big of a deal. And you can look at this and say, well, yeah, I'm sorry I did it. It's not that big of a deal. These guys are dicks that are doing this. We should all be able to do this almost. But at the core of it all, it's his baby. I mean, someone was threatening him, his baby, his children. That's his child, more or less. And the protective part of him came out. And emotion will overgo reason sometimes, as we know. That's why the Vulcans became that way, because emotion just hurt things, and this was an emotional thing. That's what it was, and so he can be sorry, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because he was trolling the trolls, which I think in and of itself is kind of weird. It just seems kind of petty and a little.
Well, it's kind of like, does the criminal get to say my rights were violated? It's kind of one of those things. Yes and no.
Yeah, and to be fair, Reddit has some really great things they do. And one of the cool things they do, because they are global, there was a guy who he defected from North Korea. He's now living in South Korea, and he's been sending information back to North Korea. And he did an AMA about how he's doing this, and somebody was asking, the community, I should say, asked these questions, and he answered all the questions. And it's really interesting because you can learn a different perspective from that, from maybe what you grew up in, and you get information out that way. So they're really good for information or positive stories, or coming together as a community. But there's also the dark side of Reddit, and the dark side is very dark. I mean, you don't want to go there. I mean, there's risky clicks, is basically what they call them, and there are risky clicks on Reddit, so you have to be careful. But at the end of the day, they're trying to be egalitarian and very free, but on the other hand, they need to control, some of the trolls and some of the brigading or doxing, which is basically doxing is when they release all your information and people can, bully you, and they need to stop that. So that's one of the things that Reddit's going to go for, or have to, go and solve going forward, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Anytime there's people who want a utopian society, which is what Reddit is supposed to be, you say, well, we don't need any rules, man. It's all about, respect. Well, respect is about rules. Rules are respect. And
yeah.
And there should be a rule for those that don't respect. And, so obviously all of a sudden there is always a way. Utopian society is always going to need to police it somehow. We always think it can be the wild, wild west. Anonymous wishes it could be that way, but it can't. It really can't.
Exactly.
Chaos theory.
It is chaos. Speaking of chaos out there, I hear you had some chaos in your inbox.
I don't know if it was something. That's a personal problem, really. I had a problem with my inbox. Yeah, but anyway, I must have, when I was buying presents online or something, I must have not checked unsubscribe me or don't sell my email, or I got some Asian people that they don't have any laws over there. Because all of a sudden I've been inundated with emails, so, from, Macy's, give me $50, coupon, Walmart, $50 coupon, and they're always the same thing, this and a $50 giveaway. And every time I click on it, it's from the same Reno 971, P.O. Box 971, Reno, Nevada 89504. Each one goes back to that. And I have to unsubscribe from each one of them, and they come from the same people, and I'm like, and I tried to do the trail, I tried to be an internet sleuth and go online. there's actually like on one of the yellow pages in the area, it has a name, blah 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 LLC, but that company doesn't exist on the internet. There's an Asian company that says, hey, we don't have any kind of way to get a hold of us. Use this address. It uses the same PO box, this warehouse. I mean, there's a woman's group that's using this. I mean, there's all this stuff that is seemingly shouldn't exist together, and it's all there in this warehouse. Like one of those community warehouses that we just unfortunately have heard about on the news. But it just seems like there's a sweatshop, web shop place there.
An email sweatshop.
Email sweatshop. I don't know if they're stacked on top of each other. I want to know what that really looks like, because they've got a lot packed in that one place. It's got to take up its own zip code.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's one of those things where if you really want to find out where somebody's coming from, the DNS registry, you can look that up now. They can anonymize that, I'm not going to lie. But if you want to find out where it's coming from, you can do a little bit of investigation and see where some of that spam's coming from. One of the things I do, and I have several email accounts, probably 6 or 7, when I do my shopping, that all goes to one account. So if I've got something that's going to spam, it's all going to spam on that account, so that my accounts that deal with other things that are, either personal or business go to a different account, and so that doesn't get commingled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm always so careful. You get a few. I get the mortgage, I get the enhancement pills. I don't know why, but they still come through. Home mortgages, a nice apartment I'm in. Refinance. But but these were just like, I'm just like, oh my God, really? What? And I can't call the place. That's what really gets you. Is like, there's nothing to call this place. Get me off this.
Oh no, Dave's so mad. Well, you want to talk about creepy and creepy ads?
Yes, creepy.
Let's talk about creepy ads. So my husband and I the other day were talking about my health history and my family and whatnot, and we were talking about a specific relative of mine that passed away decades ago and what she passed of. And the next day on Facebook, there is an article linking to that exact same medical problem, which is interesting because I have not talked about this online. I've not talked about it in an email to anybody. I've not done a Google search on this. And so how did this come into my Facebook ads? And I wasn't on Facebook for years because I just don't trust Facebook. And the only reason I'm on Facebook is because we have the hypocritical Facebook thing. And so I'm starting to connect.
She's only doing it for you people, listeners, our listeners.
Yes, I'm doing it for you. But the thing is, what really irritated me was I remember reading probably a year or so ago that they use your microphone to kind of glean keywords, and then they'll serve you ads based on that. So they served an ad based on a conversation I had with my husband that they must have picked up from this microphone, because there's no other way that ad should have showed up. And it was creepy and scary. Exactly.
I wish I could not believe that. I mean, again, I wish you were telling me about someone who told you this story, so instead of being the person who's telling me this story. But we talked about this. Do you cover up your camera when we're not doing our show?
I actually don't, because my camera is in a room where even when the camera's off, it's facing something you're not going to see. Yeah. So the reason the backdrop is there is to cover up the mess. But yeah, it doesn't face anywhere that anybody's going to see anything in particular. So, but yeah, I mean,
Zuckerberg covers them up, right?
Zuckerberg, the FBI director, covers theirs up with a piece of tape. So what does that tell you?
Yeah. Go ahead. Look at my ugly mug when I'm on the computer. This is all you're going to see.
Well, I think they're more interested if you wander by with no clothes on.
Yeah. I think that's what I said. So I think that's the way to do it if they want to watch. That's like that old gag when the Mormons or whatever come to your door and they want to do the save you thing. Just come on in, come to the door naked. Sure, come on in.
Hi, would you like to meet my Lord and Savior? Satan.
I figured you'd want me the way he brought me into the world. I'm here, no clothes.
There you go. There you go.
They stay around.
So have you been kind of looking at this local news? Walker, our favorite buddy, is
Well,
to defund road projects. What do you think?
Well, we're $70 million still, in the red or what have you. And then like, where's all the money from saving all these jobs or busting up these unions and giving no money to teachers and taking it away from students and where's all the savings that we're still $70 million? Now they're going to finish the zoo. I understand that, but they're talking about 70 years worth of roads that they have to start thinking about going ahead. And I'm like, 70 years ago, what? No, is it?
But we can't raise taxes. That's a dirty word. Raising taxes.
We're going to be Jetsons, and we're going to be flying cars, and they'll be making roads with 3D, printers overnight with some, silicon-based whatever made us. No, 70 years. Nah, I'm one of those guys. We'll see what happens then. 70 years from now.
We'll all be in the ground. Well, the fact of the matter is it doesn't matter whether they're 3D printing it. There's still going to be costs involved with it. And yes, you're right. They cut the UW system. They've cut, some of the emergency stuff. They're selling off public lands. And it's like, so why are we still not able to pay for basic infrastructure and costs? I mean, there was a guy who had his axle broken, in a pothole, in an area they were doing construction in, because they needed to fix it. It's like, it's so stupid that, what do they think? Would you rather be sued?
Here's the thing about roads, though, and this is the one thing that we all kind of forget. Everybody had the money to put the first road in. We needed a road from here to this town, or we need this, or the guy to this house. Everybody, they got the money together. They were able to put this road in. Now, once all of those roads in, nobody has the money to redo all those roads. It's just main thoroughfares and things like that. But it's like you don't. I mean, how do you get it? Like I said, without putting another dime on gas. That's the only tax you can do.
Well, and and the thing is my thing is I'm all for all these road projects that need to be done, like bridges and even like the zoo interchange. It was crumbling. It was getting old. It was getting dangerous. They had to do emergency repairs. But they went and they built that big area at Watertown Plank Road to get on. Now I clocked this with my car. It's a quarter of a mile to get on to where the stop thing is, to tell you to get into traffic. And so that means it's a quarter of a mile going this way and a quarter of a mile going that way. And then when you do the other side, it's a quarter of a mile going this way and a quarter of a mile going that way. And they redid Swan Boulevard. So there's over a mile of new concrete. Why are we putting so much concrete into everything? It could have just been on and off, like it used to be.
Traffic patterns. You need to adjust them, move them, get them in. This is all, there's some schematic, somewhere that shows you all this. And again, build now. You don't build for now. You're building for the future.
But you said we're going to have hover cars, so we can just get on and off. I mean, I don't know why we needed this concrete, because we don't want to drive in circles with the hover cars.
You have bikes, and you're still going to have the self-automated cars are going to need that road. We're all going to be in Tesla and Apple cars. They're already delivering pizzas and beer to people, in these self-autonomous cars. So, geez, 50 years from now, again, we'll be hover cars. And we'll be sitting in the back of our car reading the newspaper, making food.
Nobody's going to we don't raise taxes, and nobody's going to pay for it. And at the end of the day, like Milwaukee went and did this wheel tax. It's like, I'm for it, because we've got to collect taxes somehow.
Somewhere, yeah.
So
taxes are that.
I see you've got your Santa hat on. We didn't mention it earlier.
And no, and then ho ho ho, and this is what brings it in. Hypocritical is a hipster Santa. Hypocritical. Your thoughts?
I think a hipster Santa's hip. I think that'd be really cool. There've been all sorts of Santas, so let's have a hipster one too.
Right. I mean, this guy's got a man bun, black glasses. I'm sure they're Ray-Bans or something like that. Peppermint candy earrings, and a sweater like the dude. So you got Santa Dude. I'm sure he's a hit. Of course, it's in Portland. The only other place you'd have it is in Colorado, probably. But yeah, between that, like, Portland, love it. I'm all for it, as well. Yes.
Yeah, and there's different Santas. I mean, Russia, has a different version of Santa from, say, Scotland and Europe, and America has their version. And there's.
Saint Nick was on the 5th.
Sure. And speaking of Saint Nick, I bought myself, I guess, a Christmas and Saint Nick present. I bought the lovely Serenity coloring book.
Yeah, Serenity now.
Yeah, let's go. Firefly.
What did you get done? What are you doing with it? Are you actually crayoning? Are you getting some nice felt tip pens?
I don't
What are you
know.
doing?
I bought it because it was cool. That's why I
Right.
bought it. So yeah. So you know, speaking of cool things, you know, Pokemon Go, we had spoken about that. That's kind of a cool thing. Did you see that they actually passed some rules for the Milwaukee County Parks regarding Pokemon Go like apps and games?
No, what are they? Well, they got to get money somehow, probably. So I bet they're charging them somehow.
Well, I guess, well, probably there'll be charges, but I guess going forward, any apps or games that want to utilize properties that are owned by Milwaukee County, they have to get permits and licensing to do it. What gets me is, you know, games like Pokemon Go aren't based out of Wisconsin or Milwaukee, so how are they supposed to know about these rules when they set things up? And it's going to be real interesting to see what happens going forward.
You're gonna be playing Pokemon Go here. You know, there's a velvet rope, you know, stopping you from going in these things, right? Well, they got to. Yeah, if there's a way to try to see if they could tax maybe the guy like an Uber, you know, we want our cut, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's kind of crazy. I guess we'll see where it goes. I don't know how they're going to enforce it.
Force it,
That's going to be the
right,
big
right,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
So who pushed your button here that you want a little time here for an Alexa MKE rant?
Well, actually, it was a friend had this happen, and so I've got a little bit of
You're a
a
friend,
rant, just
friend.
a
Yeah.
little social rant. So if you're a creative or professional, I'm sure you've run up against this. You know, you have people who, when you're at a social gathering or something, they're always trying to bend your ear and ask for your advice, or you know, even if you're away from a social event, they're always asking you for a discount or to give you something for nothing.
Sure. Well, Doc, you know, it hurts when I do this. When you see the dentist, hey, what should I do about that? You know, show him your teeth, right?
Well, Doc, if it hurts when you do that, just don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
Yeah, the old
Hey,
joke.
I'm seeing spots before my eyes. Have you seen a doctor? No, just spots.
Yeah, there you go. But dad jokes, right? But the thing is having been a creative and having run my own business and been a professional, I've been, victim of this. And, you know, this happened to a friend of mine. They were asking some advice. And I just want to say, first of all, if you're in a social situation, everybody, we don't want to talk about work. I don't want to talk about work at a social situation. So if I'm going, you know, to a party and I'm getting all did up and all turned out and all 9 yards, I don't want to sit there and talk about whatever your project is or whatever. You know, say, hey, I'm interested in doing this. You know, can I give you a call afterwards? I'll be happy to talk to you when I'm not socializing. The other thing is you get friends and family, and this happens quite often, especially if you're creative, but also if you're a professional. Hey, can you answer this question? Can you do this for me? Can you give me a discount? Can you do it for free? First of all of us have put in time learning, educating ourselves to do what we do. There's certain machinery or equipment or resources that we have to spend to do it.
My skill has value.
My skill has value. My resources have value. And so at the end of the day, if I want to give you a discount, I'm going to give you a discount. Especially if you're one of those people who comes up to me and says, hey, can you hem my pants? And they're not like, how much do you charge to hem my pants?
Yeah, right.
Can you hem my pants? And then they're expecting it for nothing. Don't ever expect anything from nothing from a professional. If that's what they do, that's what they do. And, you know, even if they're doing it as a hobbyist, you know, sometimes you should give them money. But the fact of the matter is also creatives and professionals, don't be afraid to tell people that you charge for what you do. Because when you don't do it, you devalue it. So if it's somebody who's does some work on your car and they didn't charge you for it and they ask you to, you know, tweak a web page for them, you know, that's kind of a, what do you always call it, Dave? Tit for tat. Yes, it's a tit for tat. So I mean, that's one thing. But if this is somebody who the only time they ask you something is when they want you to do something for them, you make sure you charge them, because you don't want to feel, you know, resentful later that you did these things for these people. So consider the consequences, not only if you need the services, but also if you're providing the services.
You know that more than anybody. You know, it's just like a good way to shut them up is to look at them and say, sure, send me an email of what you want, and I'll send you back a quote.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. You know, it's like, yeah, send me an email what you want, and I'll send you back a quote. Because I know even now I'm not doing the seamstress work super professionally, and I've had people ask me, and I just look at them and I go, either A, I don't do that anymore if I don't want to do it, or B, this is what it's going to cost you.
Right.
And
I don't do it, but I will for this amount.
I still do some side jobs, but it's definitely selective. But I just wanted to rant everybody. You're coming into social situations around the holidays. Please be respectful of everybody's time, and if you want them to do something for you, make sure you compensate them, because they're professional for a reason. So yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, good rant. Good one. I agree with you.
Okay, good.
Right. Being an old, well, I'm an old car guy, and car salesman. And first thing they do is sell your relatives and family. And I didn't want to be a car guy around the people I knew. Parties. When you go to a Packer party or something like that. Oh, what are you driving? When are you going to replace it? Those successful people in that business do that. I don't. Here's a new car we have on my Facebook page. I wouldn't do that. So I wasn't as successful in that business as he could be, because that's what you're supposed to do. Sell those people. Let's go out there. And I couldn't do that. I wanted to be separate. I wanted it to be a separate thing.
Yeah, to keep your personal and business stuff separate. I mean, they don't always become separate, but if you keep your personal stuff personal and your business stuff personal, business stuff business, when it comes to the point that the two shall meet, you have all your guidelines laid out, there's a lot less problems later on.
Right. All right. So anyway, coming up into Christmas, of course, holiday stuff galore.
Oh my goodness, yes.
This caught my eye. I thought it was as a Tarantino film here at first. The 8 Reindeer Monologues by Jeff Goody. All right, what it is, a disturbing, dark comedy that looks at the perils of misplaced power. Each of the 8 elite reindeer gives a disposition in a sexual harassment suit against Santa Claus. Presented in the Tandem Theater at the 10th Street Theater. Yeah.
Okay. Reindeer. Now you just said reindeer, sexual harassment, and Santa Claus all in the same sentence.
They give disposition. Now,
deposition.
Again, they do not say who the offender, the offended. I mean, was there harassment against Santa himself, or was it, boy, there's a lot of questions that do need to be answered by going to that. Definitely.
That sounds like it would be a hoot to go to. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Very scary or very funny, very disturbing, but either way, disturbing is funny.
Dark comedy's always.
Also, then, if you guys ever want to have breakfast or lunch with Santa, just put that in Breakfast with Santa, Milwaukee, and you'll find that you can have something with Santa. If you want to eat with Santa, there's a lot of those around. So watch for those. And also, we've talked about this before. Great Bakery, Pick and Save.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yes, Rocket Baby, one of your favorite places. There is a Christmas Around Milwaukee Bakery bus. Check with the Holy Moly Coffee through December 24th, Saturdays and Sundays. There's 2 buses. I guess a Saturday is like a classic run. And if you've already done that in the past, they have a Sunday second run for new places. So plenty to fill up on. 2 days running if you want to do both. Check with Holy Moly Coffee for details.
But like we said, Pick and Save still has the best donuts in Milwaukee. Bar none.
Great bakery. All right, and now Urban Ecology Center. There's actually a Christmas bird count, which really it's exercise and walking around, and let's look at some birds at the same time. It's from Riverside Park in Milwaukee, Park Place, Milwaukee. It is Saturday, December 17th between 8 and 5. It's free again, so they'll be actually, what you do is they collect data for an international database of bird population trends. They'll hike along the east bank of the Milwaukee River, stop for brunch, and return via the west bank. Dress for a long hike. Bring lunch money for a brunch.
And hopefully it's not too cold, because the temperature is dropping, boys and girls.
Yes, it is. But you know what? You hear something like that when it says something like, and bring a lunch money, bring a lunch or money for brunch. If you feel like, someone's telling you, like, you're going to see the little notes on the people with the envelope and the money in there, like the mom did for the
Oh, yeah, where they used to pin the stuff to your shirt when you're in kindergarten.
I have the money for the lunch. I get the milk, the chocolate milk money right here.
Oh, my goodness.
So that sounded fun.
So anything else?
And then also, we are the city of steeples, and we have been talking about food. So let's do chocolate and churches. All right.
Why not? Chocolate and churches, they both begin with CH.
Right. That's the Grace Palace Place Coffee, Grace Place Coffee. I think this might be the last weekend. They'll visit local chocolate shops. tour a couple chocolatiers, and visit 3 local churches. And again, we do have some beautiful churches and chocolate in Wisconsin, and in Milwaukee. So what a great combination! Just like Recess, churches and chocolate, peanut butter and chocolate, anything with chocolate except bacon.
There you go. And if you combine churches and chocolate, it's chocolate, right?
It's chocolate. Sinful. They say that's sinful, but no.
Yeah, well, it's sins and churches. Oh, interesting.
Hey, speaking of sins and churches, so here's a new thing I just found out about, that if you're in crisis somewhere, there's an app that you can open up and push a button and find the quickest confessional from where you are.
Is this a Catholic app?
I don't put it out. It's kind of like a Tinder for confessional. Yeah, so it's really called Cinder, right?
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
That's the name for it, Cinder.
So on that note, we want to thank our listeners, our 2 regulars.
Hi, Pat. And Mom.
Your mom and Pat. Hi, guys.
Mom, no advent calendar this year. What happened, Mom?
Oh, geez, you didn't. How old is he? You got to get him his advent calendar, damn it. Anyway, so all the other listeners out there, if you tell 2 people, they'll tell 2 people, they'll tell 2 people, and then we will have lots of listeners, just hands. And so if you want to get a hold of us, you can check out our Facebook page, and you can message us there, hip.or.critical@gmail.com to send us an email. I am at Alexa MKE, that's AL3XA. MKE for Twitter. You can hit me up there. We're wishing all you guys a wonderful holiday season. Don't care whether you're, celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Festivus for the rest of us. Everybody have a good one.
Now comes the airing of the grievances.
Yes. So everybody have a wonderful holiday season. We don't know if we're going to do one more show before the end of the year. We may. If not, we'll be back at the end of the year with all sorts of goodies for you guys. Peace out, Milwaukee. Be good. Have fun. Bye. Yay. Bye.